Con. The one West Israelites lie about salvation.
Uh,
First foremost, I want to say call halal Yahweh ba Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai, man. Also all praise to the Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son of the world, ignorantly called Jesus Christ, man. And it's Yajadiah, the chief apostle of the Masada, right? And we got Asgadar. Go ahead and get your introduction.
Go ahead. This is your boy Oscar, aka the Hebrew Heavyweight Man, and I'm from the organization called Jeshurun. Y'all watch out for us out there. We're a new organization, man.
That's right. Out of where?
Out of Houston, Texas, aka Space City.
That's right. That's right. That's right, man. And tonight, we're gonna be going into what salvation is, and not really like just trying to define it per se, but more like seeing how it's used and looking at it and critically analyzing, have Israelites just in general been using it properly? Because a lot of times when people like to argue about like what's going on now about like the whole can Gentiles be saved, and even when they talk to regular Christians on the street, a lot of people just go and just run directly to Luke chapter 1 and 67 through 60 through 73, I believe, to say salvation is just Israel being delivered from their enemies. Yeah, that's one use case. That's one. And actually, primarily, when you see it, it is that.
Yep.
But in other places, you see it used for a lot of different things, especially in the book of Psalms. David, when he writes his Psalms, he damn near uses salvation in every aspect, and like out of every aspect and attribute there is. Right. And I guess people just pretend like we don't see that, or we either don't know that, or we parakeet different doctrines and belief systems and rhetoric and dogma, just like how Christians do, and we miss the plot. Us being Israelites, we have to, the word of God was committed unto us. We need to understand the plot.
That's right.
You got something you want to say?
No, I mean it's just time to elevate. We can't just keep saying the same thing over again. Knowledge is supposed to increase in the end time. So hey, it's up to us, man.
Yeah, knowledge supposed to increase in the end times, bro. And when I say this too, right? Because I did title it "Did One West Israelites Lie About Salvation?" I don't believe people just woke up one day and said, we're going to teach a lie about this.
Yeah,
It's more or less like our elders who were vanguards in this truth, who put in decades more work than us, decades before we've even decades while we were still eating pork in the Christian church, right?
yeah, man.
They did the best they can with the best of their abilities, right? And what they've learned and what they've saw in the scriptures. But over the expanse of time, we have new tools like the Logos app, we have the Blue Letter Bible app, we have various different ways we can look up and find information, things that they didn't have, and they did the best they could with what they could.
That's right.
But us having this information and looking up how the way words are used, looking at the way it's taught throughout the Bible, we can fully understand that the word salvation, the concept of salvation, is much broader than Israel just being delivered from their enemies. Right. And that's what this lesson is going to be about. And also, who is this? Barakatah, man. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless you 1,000-fold, man.
All praises.
They said niggas need to repent and get back into the prophecies, man. And I got something for you. We're going to the prophecies today.
Hey, that's what we finna go into. Let's go into the prophecies, man.
Yeah, so without any further ado, man, don't forget to like, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Masada Israelite School, right? And Jeshurun, right? How y'all say the whole name of y'all channel since y'all new?
It's just Jeshurun right now.
Okay, just Jeshurun, man. And we should be simulcasting on both of them. Yeah, we are.
We up and live on both channels. So if you see it on our channel down there in Space City Jeshurun, hey, this was for the future. This is how it's gonna be.
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, man. We also, speaking of that, we got breakdowns coming, bro. We got breakdowns coming, and speaking of that too, like there's two more things. So, for me myself, when I hear either new doctrines or new ideologies or fresh ideologies, especially like the whole salvation for everybody thing, right? I don't just run to YouTube. With me, like I'm gonna with all this happening, with things going on in the New Testament, the things Israelites are talking about, I want to go back and get my foundation right before I even step into the New Testament verses. That's what this class is about. So me getting a full understanding of the foundation, which is God's word, which is the prophets and the people who use God's word to give their type of exegesis in the text, right? That's what I'm going to form as my foundation. And when I get a full understanding of that, now I'm going to dive into these and filter it through that. That's how we should that's how we should rightly divide the word, being stewards of the word. All right. So that's what this is going to be about. So let's jump into this. Let's jump straight into this. What is this? Lorenzo Black, it says, their stone they should fall, God forbid. Oh God, look at this. Immediately. Immediately. Right? You just stop it.
56. He got us.
he got us.
So
shut the live stream off now, man. We're confounded, right? Crazy, right? Crazy. But that's how Israelites do. So let's go into this real quick. So the true understanding of salvation. All right, let's hit this. Introduction. Go ahead, Oz.
Okay, it says, when most people hear the word salvation, they immediately think of national deliverance, Israel being rescued from her enemies, captivity, or destruction. While that definition is absolutely biblical, it is incomplete. Scriptures consistently use salvation language describing more than military rescue or how you say that geopolitic restoration.
Geopolitical
restoration.
Yeah, it said somebody said take this chat off the screen. You put okay, you got it.
I just took it off. I couldn't see it.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Hey, appreciate you, my man.
Hey, look. Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. But yeah, hit that last sentence again.
It says, scriptures consistently use salvation language to describe more than military rescue or geopolitical restoration.
Mm-hmm. Slack. Okay, we good.
It says throughout. I got you.
Oh, you already hit it. My bad.
I got you, my man. It says throughout the law, the prophets, the writings, and even the Apocrypha, salvation is applied to individuals who are healed, preserved, sustained, vindicated, and restored in the midst of personal hardship. These salvations occur outside of war, outside of national judgment, and outside of covenant renewal moments. Mm-hmm. If we restrict salvation to only one category, we flatten the biblical use and miss how often the Most High acts as a present help in trouble.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean about how we can't just have salvation. We can't just understand being believing Israelites and understanding the word. We can't just believe salvation is just totally Luke chapter 1. Like we're going to be saved from our enemies. Because when people say, "Oh, salvation not for the heathen," because they're the enemy. So how can they be saved with us? No. Okay, it's broader than that. And especially when you look at eschatology, it's definitely broader than that. And when you look at what the kingdom is going to look like, when you look at what's happened prior to the kingdom, like things during with David's time, Psalms, various other aspects that what happened with Dan. Matter of fact, that's actually in here, right? That's at the premise. That's actually in here.
It says One West-based Israelites tend to anchor their entire definition of salvation almost exclusively in Luke 1:67 through verses 72. It says from that framework, salvation becomes synonymous with national deliverance from enemies, captivity, and oppression. And any other use of the word is often dismissed as secondary or figurative.
Yeah, secondary or figurative. We just read past it. When you see these words for salvation, even salvation, there's an instance, or maybe multiple instances, where the word salvation or Yeshua, right, is used for welfare. It's translated for health. It's translated for various different things outside of what you would assume regular salvation is, or what's consistent with basically Hebrew Israelite theology of you being saved from your enemies. It's used other ways. So go ahead.
Since the biblical concept of salvation functions on multiple levels, all rooted in the same divine source, while national deliverance is a primary and prophetic form of salvation for Israel, scriptures also explicitly use salvation language for personal deliverance from danger, healing from sickness, preservation of life, welfare during hardship, and restoration after loss.
And we see all those, and we're going to see all those.
This lesson demonstrates that salvation is not defined by the scale of the event, but by the act of divine intervention. It says whether the Most High rescues a nation from bondage or preserves a single servant from death. The text uses the same vocabulary and attributes the outcome to the same power. It says by examining narratives where salvation is explicitly mentioned, such as Daniel in the lion's den, Jonah in the fish, David fleeing Saul, Hezekiah's healing, and testimony preserved in the Apocrypha, we establish that salvation is a functional term describing deliverance, help, health, preservation, and welfare.
And we see that throughout all the text, right? And I want to highlight a sentence though in that first paragraph where it says the text uses the same vocabulary and attributes the outcome to the same power. Because we see the word salvation, like I said earlier, it's translated into different type of words that's not typical for Hebrew Israelites. Like I said, for health, for welfare, various other things, prosperity. We see that for various other things, and we need to understand that, right? So go ahead.
National salvation and personal salvation are not competing ideas. Personal salvation operates within the large covenant framework and foreshadows the condition of peace, security, and well-being that will exist fully in the kingdom, primarily for Israel, but will extend to natural Gentiles in a limited fashion following captivity.
And I made sure I put that in red. Following captivity.
Gotta put that in there for all my brothers out there. I know all my brothers out there, they want to have the heathens going to slavery. Look, that's what's going to happen.
It has to happen.
But we got to look past that, though. All right?
Yeah, we got to look past that. Because we have to look past what I guess you could say the first 1,000 years of the kingdom, the rulership of Christ, Israel being restored. What comes after that is the healing of the nations. What comes after that is the rebuilding of the nations. And they're going to be rebuilt after our image. They're going to have to keep our laws. They're going to have to do, number one, what we say, right? And they're going to have to submit themselves to our God. But before any of that happens, you got to serve. You have to pay the price. Because we've had to pay the price and still are paying the price to this day. Literally. Right? So let's continue with this. So the Hebrew words for salvation. So with this, I got it on this one, right?
Go ahead.
So on this one, this is part, if anybody looked at my presentation about like the simultaneous salvation and stuff, I touched on this briefly right now. And I said that I was going to expand upon it. And this is what this is. So we see right here 5 words. The first 5 words are used for salvation, right? Yeshua, Yasha, Yesha, Moshe, Teshua. And the last one I put right here is I think that's how you say Nasal. It means to deliver, like the deliverance, like escaping or being snatched away from evil. I added this too because when you look at the way that word is used in conjunction with these, it's talking about the same thing.
It is.
Just like with Daniel, when he was saved out of the lion's den, it said that this Lord, this God delivers and rescues. And what was that deliverance or rescue he had? Being saved from the hurt of the lions. The Lord intervened in that by sending the angel. So the scope, I'm gonna hit these two. It says the scope of the concept of salvation. So we see it being used for national deliverance. That's what we're all accustomed to. That's what we all know about, right? Somebody said, "Is this alive?" Yes, it's alive. So we're all accustomed to national deliverance. Then you have personal rescue from distress, victory in battle, health and recovery, preservation of death, and escape. That's where you get that word for deliverance. That's where that comes from. So look at this, right? So go ahead and read this.
So we got salvation, national deliverance. It says the Lord raising up judges to save the nation of Israel. This is Judges chapter 2, verse 16. It says, nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them.
So that's that first word, Yasha, right? So he delivered us. It's translated, instead of salvation, it's translated as delivered. Right. This is that national deliverance that we're all accustomed to, especially in the next one. Go ahead.
It says, the Lord himself saving the nation of Israel from Egypt. Exodus 14 and 13. We all know this one. It says, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew to you today. For the Egyptian whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
Mm-hmm.
Then you also got the prophet Solomon rebuking Israel for rejecting God. I said Solomon, the prophet Samuel rebuking Israel for rejecting God. This is 1 Samuel 10 and 19. It says, and ye have this day rejected your God, whom have saved you out of all your adversaries and your tribulations.
Mm-hmm. And these are three, and there's so many more. Like even Oz knows this slideshow was way bigger than this. And look, you got so, bro. If I'm in front of my computer after I get home from work, I'm gonna make a presentation.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be very linked. It's like as far as slides, it's gonna be very linked. I had to chop a lot of this down, so where it's like we can make it concise, we can hit every one of these points. But what's illustrated in this slide is this is what we're accustomed to: Israel being saved from their enemies, Israel being like. Israel's delivered, meaning like moved away from their enemies, and them being exalted. That's what we've seen here. That's what we're accustomed to. And we also see different words being used for this, like with Yasha and Yeshua. There's multiple other ones which I displayed earlier, but that's what we're accustomed to. Let's go into the other ones that aren't really talked about.
this is salvation, personal rescue from distress, deliverance from his personal affliction. Psalms 34:19. Many are the affliction of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. Psalms 34 and 6. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles.
No, stop right there. Now, with this, right, is Israel saved from their enemies?
So, like, yeah, I guess a sister, she asked the question of, is this? She's asking about, we going into the New Testament?
Oh yeah, not today though.
Okay,
this is the foundation before we go there, right? She probably came in a little bit later. I said that earlier. Like, this is going to be the foundation before we do this. Like I said, like I want to make sure I have my foundation correct before I even go in there trying to explain this to people. Right? That's what this is. So, and also I got a lot for that. So that we'll get there when we get there.
Got to take our time. You gotta eat it all.
Yeah. Pause. Whoa. Whoa.
Pause. Hey, this is prayers to not be moved by enemies.
I want to make this point real fast. Go ahead. What you see in Psalms chapter 34 is we don't see what we're accustomed to. Like this, these are the same words, deliverance and Yasha, or salvation. Israel's not saved from their enemies right here. This is David being saved from his afflictions. And also you see in verse 6 in Psalms 34, a poor man being delivered or saved from his troubles. What are his troubles? Being poor. That's divine intervention. Can you give me what is that? First Samuel's? First Samuel's is not First Samuel. Let me see. What's that? I killed and make alive.
It's First Samuel chapter 2.
Yeah, hit that.
Chapter 2 in verse 6. This is First Samuel's 2 and 6. It said, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up.
So the Lord's in control of all these things. We talked about in the premise and in the introduction of this, that we see salvation being in the form of divine intervention. So a poor man who's going through his afflictions by being poor, his troubles, the Lord can deliver him out of that. And that same type of deliverance is the same vocabulary as salvation, like how we see in Exodus, like how we see in the eschaton. That's the same vocabulary, showing you how salvation is multi-layered. It's not just Israel being delivered from their enemies, but you have personal salvation from your specific troubles, right? So you can go to the next one.
It says prayers to not be moved by enemies' plots. Psalm 62 verses 1 through 2. It says, truly my soul waiteth upon God. From him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. I shall not be greatly moved. Psalm 6:4. Return, O Lord, deliver my soul. O save me from thy mercy's sake.
For thy mercy's sake. He's talking about his soul. It's talking about his affliction that he's going through, the enemy plots that they have, the things the things that are set up, the obstacles that are set up against him. The vocabulary that is used for is being used for that is the same words that we see in Exodus. Salvation, right? That's something we have to understand, right? Because then when you see right there where it says in Psalms 62 at the very end in verse 2, is I shall not be greatly moved, right? We're waiting, like him. This right here is that mentality of when you see. Can you give me there's a verse that I want to hit. What is that? Let me see. Psalms 46. Start at verse 8. Right. That's going to explain what I'm talking about right here. Like
this is the book of Psalms, chapter 46, and verse 8. It says, Come, behold the Lord, behold the work of the Lord, which with desolation he had made in the earth. He said, He maketh war to cease unto the ends of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God.
Boom. Be still and know that I am God, right? Because David's not, since he knows the Lord is the one that brings divine intervention in form of salvation, be still and know that I am the Lord. You saw it in the previous verses, it says the Lord can bring it into all these wars, meaning he has power over all of that, right? And that God can save you from those things, which we're going to get into a little bit later in this. So that God can save you from those specific things, and he is not going to worry about that. He wants to be saved from that mentality of being scared or being moved. That's that distress. When you see all types of evil, when you see, give me Hebrews 11:1, right? And then we're going to hit verse 6. When you see all those evil obstacles that's coming up against you, whether it be evil plots or whether it be health scares or whether it be various different things, that mindset of fear is going to try to come upon you. And you need to be delivered from that, because if you aren't delivered from that, right, you can't activate this type of salvation. All of that comes from faith. Hit that in Hebrews 11:1, and then hit verse 6.
There's a Hebrews 11:1. It says, Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
So you can't see how you're going to get, because you see Paul talk about the Lord's made a way of, like, no matter what troubles that's common to man that may happen to you, the Lord has made a way of escape from it, right? You don't know what that's going to look like, but you have faith, and you're going to be still and let him be God, or Elohim, the ruler, Elohim, the ruler, right? Let him be the ruler of your reality. That you're activating that through your faith. And then hit verse 6.
It says you want me to jump all the way down to verse 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 6, it says, But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
So without faith, it's impossible to please him. So if you don't have that type of faith, and be still and know that he is the ruler and he is God, right? And you're moved, like how David was praying that he wouldn't be. If you are moved by that, it's impossible to please him, and he's not going to save you out of that. All of these is activated through your faith. And that's something that we have to know as Israelites. A lot of us just say faith, just keeping the commandments. No, yes, it is that. But what about the spiritual aspect of when you see danger come and you fear from it and you move irrationally, right? I think in Sirach it talks about not making haste. Making haste is you moving irrationally off of the fear in front of you. The Lord didn't give you that spirit of fear, like how Paul said, right? So this is activated. When you see, go back to the slideshow right here in Psalm 62, and then we're going to make that point again.
You still on Psalm 62, still on screen?
Yeah.
This is Psalm 62 and 1 through 2. It says, Truly my soul waiteth upon God, for him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. I shall not be greatly moved.
We shall not be greatly moved. Greatly moved from what? Our distress. When we believe in the Father, right, he takes that, and when you truly believe in him, when you have that perfect love, like it talks about in the general epistles, right, you're not moved by fear. That's what he's talking about right here in Psalms. The Lord can deliver you from that, like the spirit of that, and literally the physical thing. That's the type of God we serve, right? So we can go to the next one.
It says salvation, health, and recovery. It says salvation as health literally. Psalms 42:11. It says, why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? You said it again?
Disquieted. You said it right.
Disquieted within me. Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance and my God.
That word for health right there is Yeshua. The same word for salvation in Exodus chapter 14. So is that Israel being delivered from their enemies there? No. Is that them being delivered from a battle? No. It says the health of his countenance. That's being constantly sustained. Right? That's not like, that's what I mean about how we have to look at this as multi-tiered and multi-level. Like this is the concept of salvation is far more robust than just you being saved from your enemies. That's what I want to illustrate with this. You can hit the next one.
It says David wishes for this health for the nations. It says, this is Psalm 67 verses 1-2. It says, God be merciful unto us and bless us and cause his face to shine upon us, Selah, that thy way may be known upon the earth, thy saving health among all nations.
And he's speaking of that area that we're going to talk about in Isaiah 60. Right, about that saving health among all the nations, because it talks about later, I think he's in the very next verse, he talks about him judging between the nations. Right, we only really see that with Isaiah 2, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61. So that's what David was wishing for. Hebrew Israelites need to be ready for that too, because Christians be coming with that verse all the time.
I remember that was a good one right there.
Like that saving health, right? So it's we see health and recovery being a form of salvation. So go ahead with this.
Salvation, preservation from death. Hezekiah saved from his deadly sickness. Isaiah 38 verse 1. It says, in those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. Isaiah 38 verses 20-21. It says, the Lord will save me. Now Isaiah has said, let them take a cake of figs and apply it to the boil that he may recover.
So with this, we're going to talk about, I abbreviated it like this because I have a specific section for Isaiah 38. But what ends up happening in Isaiah 38, the Lord told Hezekiah, you're going to die. Like that's it for you. You're cooked. You're cooked. Right. So what does Hezekiah do? The very next verse, I think it's verse 2-3. He immediately put his face to the wall and prayed to God. He activated his faith. And when he activated his faith, what did the Lord do? Add 15 more years to him. Add 15 more years to his life. And when he did that, as a result of that, Isaiah 38:20, what does Hezekiah say? The Lord will save me. That was that salvation. That was that Yasha for him. And it says to it so that he could recover. Right? So this is another example of salvation not being like a military deliverance or you being saved from your enemies. This is you being saved from literally being saved from a sickness that's about to kill you. Easy. Hit the next one.
Saved from the grave. This is Job 33 verses 24-25. It says, then he is gracious unto him and said, deliver him from going down to the pit. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth.
So you see right here, this is now when you're reading Job, you have to. I put this in there in blue, right on the side. This is I think it's Elihu. I think that's how you say his name. One of Job's friends rebuking Job, right? And I put this here because he's correct with what he's saying, right? It says, then he is gracious unto him and saith, deliver him from going down to the pit. That means death. That's the grave. Just like when you see the word Sheol, that gets translated into hell or the grave, right? That's literally you dying. The aspect of you dying and being buried. The Lord has the ability to deliver you from that. We already read that in 1 Samuel 2, right? That's right there, you being delivered or escaping death, being preserved from death. Here's the next one.
Psalms 12:1 in the ESV. It says, "Save, O Lord, for the godly one is gone, for the faithful have vanished from among the children of men."
Mm-hmm. So you see at this time specifically that people are being apostate from around David, right? People are forsaking God and choosing to not be godly after that, right? And you know what happens when you do that? You end up dying. These people started, like, the righteous men are starting to vanish, right? And he wants to be delivered from that thing that's happening. The righteous men vanishing. David saying, "Save." He literally said, "Save," like the word Yahshua or salvation. Save me from that. And what is that he wants to be saved from? Death. This is being preserved from death. Continue. Go to the next slide.
Next slide. It says, "Salvation preserved from death." Continue. This is, "The Lord controls who lives or dies." Psalm 68:20. "He that is our God is the God of salvation. And unto God the Lord belong the issue from death."
The issues from death.
Issues from death, my bad.
Yeah, I think even in other translations that talk about he controls who lives and who dies, right? So he says the God of our salvation, right? I believe that's Moshe, right? And that means salvation. That's the same vocabulary as salvation in other forms, right here. So he says God controls that. He controls who lives and who dies. So if he's controlling who lives, that's being preserved from what? Death. What's the vocabulary word for it right here? Salvation. I need people to understand that. Go to the next
one. That Psalm 68:20 in the NABS 20.
Go ahead.
It says, God is to us a God of salvation, and to God the Lord bringeth ways of escape from death.
Boom. Oh, Lord. I should have put that in there.
Yeah.
Give us ways to escape from death. What's that? Escape from death? Preservation from death. Salvation.
There you go.
Is Israel being saved all at once right there? No, it's not. This word is, like how Sister Kai said, it's nuanced. It has so many nuances to it. So you can go ahead and continue.
It says, "There will be no more death inside of Israel's walls." It says Isaiah 60:18. "Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation."
You should call your walls salvation or Yeshua, right? Now, how is violence consistently used in the prophetic books? The death of Israel inside of their land or various places in their captivities, right? So if that's no more going to be heard in the land, that's what? Being preserved. That's going to be in the everlasting kingdom. Because get Revelation 21 real fast. Get Revelation 21:4.
Yeah.
I can't say it no better than that.
21. You said 21:4?
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21 verse 4. You want in the KJV?
Whatever you want to read it in is fine. As long as it works.
Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away."
What was those former things? The violence that was heard in your land. Because why? When we were going through various captivities, we were evil towards each other. People were evil towards us. Is because of our transgressions. In the kingdom of God, which we're going to talk about later, a new spirit is going to be put upon us. So we walk inside of these commandments. We walk inside of these commandments. We don't lose power anymore. Power isn't wrestled away from us through the curses any longer. That's why violence will no more be heard in our land. No more death in our land. It will be translated. That's what's going to happen. We're going to live out our day and be translated. That's what's going to happen. That's you being preserved from the literal. Oh, you have infirmities, sicknesses, all these various other things. Somebody coming to literally unalive you. Somebody coming to do violence to your wife or your kids. That's going to be over with. That's you being preserved from that. That is salvation, right? You get the next one.
It says, "David's salvation as preservation." Psalms 86:2. "Preserve my soul, for I am holy. O thou my Lord, save thy servant that trusted in thee."
That's very verbatim. That's his verbatim. But you can preserve my soul, keep him alive. Is this Israel being delivered from their enemies? No, it's not. Very simply. You can go to the next one.
Salvation, victory in battle. Israel given victory in Bethaven. It says 1 Samuel 14:23. So the Lord saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over unto Bethaven.
So when we had that battle and won, what ends up happening? What is that called? Salvation. This is salvation, victory in battle. At the next one.
David given victory in battle. Psalms 44:7. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us.
So that's what we're used to in Luke chapter 1. But this is David's immediate enemies, whether it be of Israel, whether it be of the other nations. And this could really either be both, because you see when David going around all the conquests, made the damn the Moabites his servants, Edomites his servants, damn near rule the damn earth, bro. That's what he was doing. And when he was victorious in battle and in all various forms of his conquest, that vocabulary word that's used there is salvation. This is salvation in the form of being victorious in battle. You can get these next two.
It says Israel given victory in battle, Judges 3:31. And after him was Shamgar, and he also delivered Israel. 2 Chronicles 20:17. Set yourselves and stand ye still, and see the salvation of the Lord with you.
And all of these are making reference to battles, right? All of these are making reference to battles, and they're not. And the thing is, these people aren't being completely destroyed who they're battling, right? They just won the battle, and that is called salvation in the text. It ain't me adding that. It literally uses the 6 words that I put out of the 6 words I put on there for salvation. It's using all of those in every one of these, right? So are we going to ignore that, or are we going to realize there's a nuance for this word? It's one or the other. We either going to evolve, or we're going to get left behind, right? You can continue.
Okay. Now this is salvation of escape from the sword. Jeremiah 39:18. For I will surely deliver thee, and thou shalt not fall by the sword. Israel escaping from the hand of enemies. It says Judges 8:34. Thus the children of Israel remember not the Lord their God, who had delivered them out of the hands of all their enemies. Israel rescuing Jonathan, Isaiah, 1 Samuel 14:45. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not.
And all these are form of escape, usually most of the time translated as deliverance. You being moved away from the threat, whether it be the literal wrath of God or whether it be the wrath of other humans. You being moved away from that escape. That's salvation, right? Not all of that, and not every time is that you being delivered from non-Israelites. That's you being removed from a specific threat. That's salvation in the form of escape. You get the next one.
It's salvation, welfare, and prosperity. It says salvation translated as welfare. Job 30:15. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud.
Now, what is the Hebrew word for welfare right there? It's Yeshua. The same Hebrew word in Exodus 14. His welfare, his well-being has been taken away from him. What happened in the story of Job? He lost damn near everything, was giving everything back in multitudes at the end of the story. But during the story, he got sick. He got the boils. He lost family members. Lost everything. Right? That's his welfare being taken away from him. What's the Hebrew word for welfare there? Salvation. Yeah. There's something you want to say?
No, I was just saying, like, Job, most people know this, but Job is like a testament of what Israel goes through. We go through all this turmoil and upset, and then that towards the end, because our faith in God, we receive Yeshua, salvation, welfare, and prosperity.
Exactly. Right. Job acts as, because to me, like a lot of people argue, it's mostly in Christianity, because he really don't really talk about this much. But in Christianity, people argue if Job actually existed, or is it just either existed as a human being, or he's just an archetype of what faith should look like. And I mean, I could see both ways in that, but if we would look at it on the archetype of faith, when I heard that, I was like, bro, that's a smooth way to explain that. He's an archetype of, like, when you see what he goes through, like, this man loses everything you could lose: family members, your looks. You got to deal with the boils. Get it out here, getting your respect amongst your friends. Everything we could possibly go through, Job went through himself in that story and in that narrative, and he stayed down even when his wife was telling him to curse God and die. He said, "You were of the foolish women." His wife said, "You curse God and die." He said, "You were of the foolish women. How can I expect good things from the Lord and not expect the bad things either?" And that's something we should look at and embody. When you're going through things, you should pray to the Lord, like, hey, he's dealing with you. Because all these people, all these celebrities, all these popular people, all these people who just get to just go through life with no problems whatsoever, that's not a son. Because a father whoops his son. Yeah. And ever since I've been in the truth, I've been getting a lot of whoopings. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. A lot of those, right? And I'm not trying to claim to be somebody with that, but I'm using that as an example. Like, when you finally come to serve the Lord, in Sirach chapter 2, it says you have to prepare yourself for temptation. Now, people think that means, oh, you're going to be tempted to do something. Temptation, right there in the Greek, it means trials, right? You're going to be tried by certain things. Like, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when somebody? Okay, I get a perfect example. This happened to me literally, right? When somebody breaks into your bank account and steals all your money before rent time, what's going to happen then, right? What are you going to do, right? What's going to happen when XYZ happens when your family members? What are you going to do? Right? The people who don't have faith are going to be the same people who move in haste and then mess up the blessing the Lord was already probably going to give them. Right? But when you look at because I hate to keep taking this on a tangent, but like the ideology of Job is kind of interesting to me. When you look at Job, all of those things happened to him, and if all those things happened to him and he stayed down for his crown and was and received multitudes more than what he started with, bro, I have to look at that and say, you know what? I can go through this. I can use that to build my character. Matter of fact, Gadar, give me Romans 5.
Got you.
Give me Romans
5. Romans 5 verse what?
Let me see. Let me look at this. Because Paul said some things that I don't agree with, but right here he was cooking. Start at verse 3.
This is Romans 5, verse 3. It says, you said again?
What translation you reading out of?
I'm going to read the NABS 20.
All right.
It says, and not only this, but we also celebrate in our tribulations, knowing that tribulation brings our how you say that?
Perseverance.
Perseverance, and perseverance proven character, and proven character hope.
And proven character.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Keep going.
And proven character hope, and hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured out within our hearts through the Holy Spirit who was given to us.
Boom. Right? That all the trials you go through, well, I'm just going to summarize it. All the trials you go through build your character. Right? You going through all these various things, trials and tribulations, family members going up against you, various aspects of evil coming against you, and you surviving all those things and remaining in the faith, that strengthens your faith. That's that hope that you have, that expectation that the Lord is going to reward you for diligently seeking it. Right? And that's the epitome of that's the epitome of the book of Job. Right? That leads us all the way to that point. But look who it is, man. Look who it is.
Yo.
Look at Don Wilder, bro.
Shalom.
The wayward Gad had to go ahead and put his crown on, man. Look at this. Got this just run back.
Gotta do it for this one
right here, bro.
Got to, man. Got to. We back. Shout out to Sister I Love, man. HOI. Shout out to her for the crown, by the way.
This guy right here, man. Talk about being down for your crown right here.
Sorry for the tardiness, brother. Sorry.
Oh,
Shalom.
Yeah, man. Hey, chime in when you I guess when you need to.
Con.
When you got a spot, bro. But where we at? Oh yeah, go back to that Job 30.
Just Job 30 and 15. It says, "Terrors are turned upon me; they pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud. And now my soul is poured out upon me; the days of affliction have taken hold upon me."
So the days of affliction have taken, the welfare was taken from him. That Yeshua, that salvation, that welfare was taken from him, and now he has to deal with afflictions. This is an example of salvation being welfare, like consistent benefits that come. You can go to the next one.
It says salvation interpreted as prosperity. It says Psalms 118 and 14. It says, "The Lord is my strength and song, and is become my salvation. The voice of rejoicing and salvation is in the tabernacles of the righteous. The right hand of the Lord doeth valiantly."
You go.
Save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, send now prosperity.
Send now prosperity. So he's saying save now, right? So he's asking for save, like from this point on, currently, like I'm speaking like if I'm here, right? Save me, right? And that saving, he's interpreting that. It says send now prosperity. Is that you being saved? Is that Israel being saved from the enemies? No, that's consistent benefits that come from the Father. That's the same thing that Christ talked about in the Lord's Prayer in Matthew chapter 6, where he talks about where he says, "Pray for your giving out my daily bread." That's that daily sustenance, right? And you also see in matter of fact, get Matthew 6. Let's go to that real quick. Not that specifically, but there's a point I want to make with that Matthew 6.
God, I'm here. What you need?
Go to. Let me see. I want to pull it up too. Are you reading the Navs?
I can. What you need, man?
Start at 25.
25.
I got to make sure I switch that to the Navs. I forgot you guys have translated to the converted to the Navs.
We're trying to put everybody on. Y'all need to go ahead and get y'all Navs 95 or Navs 20, bro. That's a good translation.
Yeah, it is. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 25, red letter. "For this reason I say to you, do not be worried about your life as to what you will eat or what you will drink, nor for your body as to what you will put on. Is life not more than food, and the body more than clothing? Mm-hmm. Look at the birds of the sky, that they do not sow nor reap nor gather crops into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more important than they? And which of you, by worrying, can add a single day to his lifespan? And why are you worried about clothing? Notice how the lilies of the field grow. They do not labor, nor do they spin thread for cloth. Yet I say to you that not even Solomon in all his glory clothed himself like one of these. But if God so clothed the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? Do not worry then, saying, what are we to eat? Or what are we to drink? Or what are we to wear for clothing? For the Gentiles urgently seek all these things, for your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be provided to you.
So seek the Lord for all things, right? And they'll be provided to you. That's the same thing that's happening right here in Psalms 118. Because he says in verse 14, so the Lord is my strength and my song, and it's become my salvation. He's seeking the Lord. And now he's asking to cash in on that in verse 25. Save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, send now prosperity. Right? That's that daily bread. That's the continuance, that continuance of prosperity. That's that continuance of you having all the sustenance you need, whether it be money, whether it be just a good spirit, whether it be the things that you need to continue. That's what David is asking for right here. That prosperity. And this isn't you being saved from your enemies, right? That's it's just not, right? When we have to realize this concept is nuanced, right? But y'all got anything y'all want to say? Okay, hit the next one.
Hit it on the head, bro. Salvation and welfare. It says salvation interpreted as safety in how you say it? Exaltation.
Exaltation.
Exaltation. It says Job 5:11. He sat on high. He sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety.
What? they're lifted to safety. This is you being prosperous, you having that welfare of the Lord maintaining you, right? Read it again. Read it again.
It said he sets on high those who are lowly, and those who mourn are lifted to safety.
Mm-hmm.
He frustrates the devices of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success.
Mm-hmm. Because you can't hurt them, because the Lord is maintaining their welfare and prosperity. It's in the word right there for safety in Hebrew is yesha is salvation. Same thing. Continue.
It says perpetual strength of Israel in eternal order. Isaiah 26:1. It says, in that day shall this song be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. Salvation will God appoint for walls and
bulwarks, right? And that's going into our mighty power that we're going to have in an eternal order, like an eternal kingdom. Nobody's gonna, like what it says in verse 18 in chapter 60. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, but thou shalt call thy wall salvation. The Lord is tabernacling with us. He's tabernacling amongst men.
That's
right. Right. So we see that in Ezekiel chapter 37. Right. That's what's happening right here. That's a form of welfare and prosperity. Because at this point in Isaiah 26 and Isaiah 60, we've already been delivered from Babylon. We're already been delivered from wherever nation we're located in prior to us being brought back and unified as a nation. So we've already experienced Yeshua. We already experienced salvation. So what could this possibly be talking about? This has to possibly be talking, well, not really possibly. This has to be talking about the welfare and prosperity that Israel is going to have in the kingdom of heaven. This word is nuanced.
I was going to say, a lot of brothers got to understand when we talk about prosperity. I know that we always talk about salvation is just us being safe from enemies, but what comes with that is our homeland, being able to raise your children in a safe area, loving wives, loving brothers, sisters, like that's what's coming. Like we just have to have a broader understanding of what comes with the salvation. It's just not Luke 6:1-68. I get tired of brothers posting in the chat.
So Luke 1:60. It's like, and you're not. The thing is, like they're not wrong. It's not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
Right. It's that's all we're saying. It's deeper than that. So you get the next slide.
Hey, I got a precept on that. Can you get 1 Samuel 2:8?
Oh, we already read verse 6.
Already got it? Yeah, we
read
it because it goes right with this point of prosperity.
Yeah. All right. Salvation as welfare and prosperity. Isaiah.
See this one right here, man. Israelites.
Hey, just like the gentleman posted in the chat, Isaiah 56. Like we understand what this is. This is Isaiah 56:1. It says, "Thus said the Lord, keep ye judgment, for my salvation is near to come." Verse 3. Neither let the son of the stranger that have joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Verse 4. For thus said the Lord unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbath, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant.
Mm-hmm. So this is happening post us being delivered. And I have to say this because it was said, when people responded to our peer review, right? They said, like, if we're saying this is happening when the temple is being created, that means Hebrew Israelites aren't going to be saved until the temple's created. No, not at all. This salvation is in the form of welfare and prosperity, and you see that in verse 5, right? Hit that.
Got you. The prosperity of the heathen, Isaiah 56:5. It says, even unto them will I give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than sons, and of daughters I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off.
And however that's going to play out as far as how that's going to look. And I just believe that you're going to receive a blessing like it talks about in Psalms 1, right? They either going to have that after they've served captivity, after they come and keep our commandments. That's what has to happen.
Yep.
Right? That's literally what's happening right here. Continue.
Verse 6, it says, also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taking hold of my covenant. It says, even then will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifice shall be accepted upon mine altar, for my house shall be called an house of prayer for all people.
And what is that house? The temple. It's not talking about the tabernacle. That's a tent, right? This is talking about specifically the temple. It even mentions the burnt offerings and the sacrifices where that's going to be taking place at the temple. That's the area that this is talking about. Now, what does that blessing look like? How's it going to play out? Go ahead and hit that next part.
What does that look like? Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaves also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Prosperity. That's what it looks like. They get prosperity. And that shouldn't be a problem for Hebrew. You get the next slide. That shouldn't be a problem for Hebrew Israelites. And we got this right here. we have to stop saying Isaiah 56 strangers are Israelites, because it makes no sense. It doesn't, and it will only get you confounded.
Like, please stop saying those are other Israelites in this chapter. But I was also going to say, you have to believe that when we rule the world and the heathen submit on us, they got to get a blessing. That's part of the Abrahamic covenant. You can't be Israelite and you don't believe in the Abrahamic covenant.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole reason we're getting delivered in the first place.
Yes, yeah.
Because it can't be because of us, because we are horrible. As a collective, we are horrible. Right?
Yeah, and then the kingdom wouldn't even be fun if we didn't have subjects, man.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I'm trying to get in the camp. I'm trying to stun them. So I can't stun on y'all. Y'all gonna have what I got. I'm trying to stun on you. I'm trying to pull up in a new chariot. Yeah. This is Isaiah 56:3. Neither let the sons of the stranger that have joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree.
So right here in Isaiah 56:3, Hebrew Israelites will say, this stranger right here, the son of the stranger, this is a Israelite. That doesn't make sense because the context of when this is taking place. Isaiah 56 is taking place when the temple is built, right? That's why it talks about the altar. That's why it talks about the sacrifices. That's why all of that has to, and then the house of God, that has to exist for that to take place. You can't say it's taking place without those things. They don't. How are they going to go to the house if the house isn't there? You know what I mean? So if that has to exist, what time period does this take place in? Taking place in after Israel's been delivered from Babylon and the surrounding areas. What happens when we're delivered? We're unified under one king and under one nation and under one banner, and we all see eye to eye. We're no longer strangers. So this can't be a Hebrew Israelite stranger because we've already been reunified. That doesn't work. You will get confounded, and it will be hilarious. And when you see right here in Isaiah 60 and 10, it says, and the sons of strangers shall build up their walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. No Hebrew Israelite is going to argue and say this is a Hebrew Israelite stranger. Nobody's going to do that. But the issue with why I'm bringing that up is that's the same Hebrew words there. The same Hebrew words there in Isaiah 60 and 10 and Isaiah 56 and 3 are the same phraseology. Like the first one being bin, meaning son, and then the second one, the car, is meaning a foreigner or heathendom. Right? This is a literally heathendom, a son of heathendom. A son of like when you go look in the blue letter, and the Logos says it too. When you go look at that, it literally means a son of somebody who's not you. This is a non-Israelite. This Hebrew word is never used in reference to Israelite strangers. Nakar, it's never used for Hebrew Israelite strangers. It literally means a son of a stranger or a foreigner. Like, it's not that. I need people to stop doing that.
Yeah,
right? That's that point is. Y'all got something to say? Because I've belabored that point.
I'm just saying they got to stop saying it, because if not, then that stranger that can't eat the Passover is another Israelite.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same word.
And don't use the scapegoat talking about we not looking at the Hebrew. No, brother.
No.
It says what it says. That's not Israel. That's not an Israelite there.
What they say, context supersedes etymology. Okay, well, show me the car in the context of an Israelite. I'll wait.
Well, even like Yadi brought out, even in the context though of Isaiah 56, Israel's already gathered. There's no more strangers. We're all one. We're back together.
Literally in both of those contexts, we're all together.
We're all together.
It's not, and I'm not saying that. I'm not even trying to be rude when I say it. It's just that we have to understand the prophetic timeline, bro. You have to know what's going on. And matter of fact, I'm gonna help y'all out. That's what we're doing in this. The end of this. So yeah. But with this, that we got to stop it, bro. We got to stop.
All right. Examples of salvation attributes. It says Daniel and the three holy children. It says Daniel's in the lion's den. It says personal rescue and preservation from death. Daniel 6. It says God intervenes to preserve Daniel. Daniel 6:22. It says, my God have sent his angel and have shut the lion's mouth, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him
innocency.
For as much as before innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, I have done no hurt. It says key observation: Daniel was not delivered from Persia; he is kept alive in the midst of damage.
Danger.
Of danger. This is salvation of preservation, not national restoration.
Clearly. Here's the next
one. King Darius acknowledges the God who delivers. Daniel 6:26. I make a decree that in every
dominion.
I'm sorry, I'm in brain for it. That in every dominion of my kingdom, men tremble in fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. Verse 27, he delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who have delivered Daniel from the power of the lions.
Mm-hmm.
It says, Daniel, key observation, Daniel remains in captivity, the empire is unchanged, the salvation is personal rescue, publicly acknowledged.
Mm-hmm. And this word right here, because I believe Daniel's in, was it Aramaic?
Yes.
I know it's different from Hebrew. The Aramaic, that Aramaic word goes back to the same deliverance that we talked about earlier in the previous verses. This is that salvation, that rescuing, you being snatched away from evil. Like all the wrath is going to come. That's literally what that is. Right? Continue.
Since the three holy children, Daniel 3, verses 16 to 28. Personal rescue and preservation from death. It says faith before deliverance. Daniel 3, verses 16 to 17. O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this manner. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. Key observation, it says, they do not negate escape. They trust, they do not negotiate escape. They trust God's ability to deliver, whether or not he chooses to act.
And this is what I was talking about earlier about the activation of your faith. This is what activates that deliverance, right? And this right here, this deliverance is them being snatched away from evil, being snatched away from this wrath of this fire. Go ahead.
Next. chapter. It says, this is Daniel 3, verse 26 to 27. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says, came forth out of the midst of fire. The fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither was their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Daniel 3 and 28. Blessed be the Lord of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who had sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him.
Faith. He saved his servants that delivered. The Lord delivered his servants or saved his servants who trusted in him. That trusting is faith, right? When you look at the Hebrew word, it's like a pledge or a faith. They had that, and they were delivered from that. They were delivered from that fire specifically. Continue.
Key observation. It says, they are not removed from Babylon. They are preserved alive inside the danger.
Boom. Continue.
Conclusion. Salvation as preservation. It says, their salvation did not include the fall of Babylon, the end of captivity, Israel's national restoration. Instead, it involved divine intervention, preservation from death, personal rescue within a hostile system. The final point is in Daniel 3 and 6, salvation did not overthrow the empire, it preserved the righteous within it. Biblical salvation can need preservation without national deliverance.
And this is an example of that. Just like how we were showing verses that highlight those concepts, this is it literally in action. Those concepts we built upon and like basically edified upon, this is it in action.
Go ahead. Hezekiah's illness. It says health, recovery, and preservation of life. A sentence of death is reversed. Isaiah 38 and 1. Thus said the Lord, set thy house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Verse 2. It says, then Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Lord, and Hezekiah wept sore. Key observation. It says the issue is not captivity or enemies. The issue is terminal illness and impeding death.
So and the impending death. But the Lord said, the Lord said, you're finished. You're done. You're cooked. And then he started praying to the Lord and said, I followed you this whole time. Watch this. Go ahead.
And God restores his life. It says health, recovery, and preservation of life. A sentence of death is this the same slide? No.
No.
A sentence of death is reversed. It says Isaiah 38 and 5. I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will add unto thy days 15 years. Isaiah 38 and 16. O Lord, by these things men live. So wilt thou recover me and make me to live. Verse 20 in Isaiah 38. The Lord was ready to save me.
Boom. There it is. And that ready to save you is making reference to what just happened there. Right. So that's the same terminology or concept of salvation is being applied to Hezekiah being saved from his illness. So this also highlights the whole aspect of this just isn't a national thing. It's personal as well.
This is key observation. This is Hezekiah is saved by being healed. Salvation here means recovery, continued life, and restored strength.
Oh.
Conclusion. Salvation can mean healing and continued life. Hezekiah's salvation did not involve national restoration, military victory, deliverance from captivity. This demonstrates how this salvation is physical healing, recovery from illness, being kept alive. Isaiah 38 proves that salvation is not limited to national events, but includes health, recovery, and life itself, all granted by God.
Oh, it's just as clear as that. It like that don't even really need a breakdown. Really, we clearly see this being used in more ways than what we've been accustomed to explaining it as.
Jonah and the fish. It says personal rescued and escape from death. Jonah chapter 2 verses 1 through 9. Jonah cries out from extreme distress. Jonah 2 and 2. I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice.
So this is out of the belly of hell, basically meaning either a bad situation or the grave. And it's really both right here because he thinks he's going to die in the belly of this fish.
Verse 7, it says, when my soul fainteth within me, I remembered the Lord, and my prayers came in unto thee, into thine holy temple. Key observation is Jonah is not facing an enemy nation. He is facing imminent death and confinement.
In the belly of the fish. Continue.
It says the Lord delivers Jonah by escape. Jonah 2:9. Salvation belongeth unto the Lord. Verse 10. And the Lord spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land. Key observation: Jonah is physically removed from danger. This salvation takes the form of escape, not restoration of a nation.
So we see Jonah right here calling out to the Lord. The Lord heard his prayers, and he admitted salvation is of you. And the Lord forced the fish to vomit him up onto the dry land, where he was delivered from that imminent danger. And it says salvation. It's lit like I'm just saying, bro. Like I don't know why we've gotten accustomed as a people to just think that it's just one way. Like this, there's so many of these. Like I said, like I told Oz, like a while before you got on here, I was saying like this slideshow is way bigger than this.
yeah, it's a lot of. You could go on for days with this.
For days. But I just want to hit the keyer points on this. But you continue.
It says conclusion: salvation as escape from death. It says this demonstrates salvation can be personal and situational. It says salvation can mean escape from a deadly circumstance. Salvation belongs to the Lord applies to individual rescue, not only national redemption. It says Jonah chapter 2 shows that salvation can be as simple as being brought back to dry land alive. Easy. Simple to the point. David delivered from Saul.
Mm-hmm.
It says personal rescue and preservation from an enemy. Now this is an enemy from your own people.
Yeah.
Psalms 18, 1-3. David testifies of personal deliverance. Psalms 18:1. A psalm of David, and the day that the Lord delivered him from the hands of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul. Verse 2. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, the horn of my salvation and my stronghold. Key observation: this is not Israel being delivered as a nation. This is David personally preserved from Saul, his enemy within Israel. Salvation defined as rescue from an individual threat. It says Psalms 18:3. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies.
Yeah. So I was saying this right. The key point in this is, usually when you look at Psalms, the very beginning of like the first verse, it tells you the context around what he's writing this about or what's happening in that immediate like immediately when he's writing this. And when you look at it in the context of this whole chapter, he's talking about being delivered from Saul, right? I didn't put that there for space wise, but if you go look at the context, that's what this is talking about. I just want to highlight that.
Key observation: David is not removed from Israel. The eternal kingdom is not yet established. Salvation here is rescued from pursuit and death, not national redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Conclusion: salvation as personal rescue from an enemy. David's salvation did not involve the restoration of Israel, the defeat of foreign nations, the establishment of the kingdom. This confirms that salvation can be personal and situational. Salvation can mean being kept alive while danger remains. Personal deliverance operates independently of national salvation. Psalms 18 shows that salvation can be as specific as one being spared from one enemy by the hand of God.
Boom. See, it's such a nuanced concept. So you get the next one. We can I think that Okay, no, we gotta hit this one. We can skip the one after this one.
Joseph preserving lives. It says preservation of life and salvation through provisions. This is Genesis 45 verses 5 through 7. It says God sent Joseph ahead for preservation. Genesis 45 in verse 5. God did not send me before you to preserve. I'm sorry. God did send me before you to preserve life. My bad. Verse 6. For these 2 years have had the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, and the which there shall neither be earn nor harvest. Key observation. The danger is not welfare or captivity. The danger is famine and death through lack of provision. It says salvation through sustenance, not escape. Genesis 45 and 7. And God said, set me before you to preserve you a prosperity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. Key observation. No one escaped the land. No enemy is defeated. Lives are saved through food, planting, and provisions. Salvation here means survival during crisis.
Boom. It's as simple as that. Like this, the same words, the same vocabulary is used throughout all of these. So you can hit the next one. Yeah, we can skip that one. Skip all the way to the kingdom connotations.
All right, let's go ahead.
Yeah, because we touched all those other ones. Yeah, okay. How does salvation manifest in the eternal kingdom?
Let's get to it. It says national salvation and kingdom inheritance. Now we get into the good stuff. Excuse me. This is Daniel 7, verses 13 through 14. One like the Son of Man came with the cloud of heaven, and there was given him dominion, glory, and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him.
Mm-hmm. Matthew before you read it, this is Christ coming back. And Matthew 24 is going to tell you what's going to happen when Christ comes back.
Matthew 24, verses 29 through 31. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, he shall send his angel with a great trumpet, and they shall gather his elect from the four winds.
So Christ is going. The people who he's going to deliver is I almost dropped my guitar. That'd be bad. But he's going to gather his elect from the four winds. Now, somebody give me Isaiah 45 and 4, because we need to understand who is this. Because we're going to talk about who's going to be saved, right? It says he's going to gather his elect. So let's see who his elect are. Whoever want to, are y'all going to get it? You want me to get it? Okay, go ahead.
You said Isaiah 45 and 4?
Yep.
This is Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 4. For the sake of Jacob, my servant, and Israel, my chosen one, I have also called you by your name. I have given you a title of honor, though you have not known me.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Lord.
So in that one, see what you read in the nabs on that one?
Yeah. You want to get KJV?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the KJV for chosen one right there, it's elect, like the elect ones. The Lord tells us who the elect are. So if we're going to say heathens are going to be delivered, I mean, you're going to have to say the heathens are the elect, and I don't remember a verse. I don't remember a verse that says that. That's a problem.
That's a major problem.
That's a problem. So when Christ comes back, he's going to be given a dominion, like for being caught back up with the first two verses. In Daniel 7, Christ is coming back, and all dominions are going to be subjected to him. When he comes back in Matthew 24, he's going to gather his elect. Who does the Lord say the elect are? Israel and Jacob. Very plainly. So now we can go to the next parts.
This is Ezekiel 20, verses 37 through 38. I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. I will purge out from among you the rebels. They shall not enter into the land of Israel.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to be brought into the wilderness of the people, and the people who don't want to be subjected unto the Father are going to be purged out, and they will not enter the land. That's what it is. That's what it means that's what Paul means when flesh and blood will enter the kingdom of heaven, right? Those people those Israelites who see this mass exodus of people being delivered, and then they see all that, and they get brought to that same thing and decide they don't want to be a part of this Father, don't want to be a part of like this culture and this understanding, they're going to get purged out. They're not going to enter into the land. That's what's happening. Go ahead.
Matthew 25:34. Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, so this means that this is already what the Lord already had planned out before anything played out, right? Mm-hmm. Key points. This salvation is a gathering of the elect, which is 45:4, which is Israel's the elect, the transfer of dominion, the inheritance of a kingdom. This is not personal rescue, healing, or preservation. This is not national deliverance. This is national deliverance. How you say that? Culminating in kingdom rule.
Yeah, that's what the early aspects of our salvation look like, whether it be from Babylon or the various places the Israelites are scattered from. Right, you can continue.
National restoration, unity, and an everlasting kingship. Ezekiel 37 verses 21 through 22. I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land, and one king shall be king to them all.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 23. I will save them out of all their dwelling places and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. And David, verses 24 through 25, and David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall dwell in the land forever.
So this is what that national deliverance is going to look like for Israel. Because it says they're going to take the children of Israel, not everybody, the children of Israel from among the heathen. So the heathen aren't coming here. From among the heathen, gather them on every side, bring them into their own land, right? That's when the rebels are going to get purged out, right? He saved us out of all of our dwelling places. That act of him gathering us, right, is us being saved out of all of our dwelling places. And then we're going to have that one Davidic king there. Who's that Davidic king? Christ.
That's
right. Continue.
Key point. This salvation includes a global regathering of Israel, national reunification, spiritual cleansing, one king and one law, permanent inheritance of the land. It said this is not personal rescue or temporary relief. This is final national deliverance and everlasting kingdom order.
Boom. Continue.
It says covenant purification and eternal judgment. Ezekiel 20 verses 33 through 34. I will be king over you, and I will bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered.
So right here, this is telling you what time period this context is going to take place in. The same thing Ezekiel 37 was talking about. Same thing Ezekiel 34 was talking about. Same thing Ezekiel 36 is talking about. This final deliverance of Israel from all nations into the wilderness of the people before they enter into the land. And this is what's going to happen when that happens.
Verse 35 through 36, it says, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. So will I plead with you. Verse 37, I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
The new covenant.
I will purge out from among you the rebels. They shall not enter into the land of Israel. Mm-hmm. This passage is covenant reinforcement, spiritual purification, judgment within Israel. This is new covenant salvation defined as separation, correction, and purification, preparing Israel for final restoration.
Which happens when we're restored as a nation, as far as kings and priests, right? Our land being restored, all the things you would see in Isaiah 61 and Isaiah 62, right? This is us being prepared to obtain that. So when people talk about, we're going to be saved, we're going to just automatically be brought to happiness. No, Ezekiel 20 has to happen. We get brought into the wilderness of the people, and the people are going to get tried there. That has to happen to prepare us for this. We'll go ahead.
Cool. Donald, can you design? I got to grab some real quick.
Internal renewal leading to obedience and restoration. Ezekiel 36, verses 24 and 25, I will take you from among the nations and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean. Ezekiel 36 and verse 26 and 27, a new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. Ezekiel 36, verse 28 and 29, you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and I will deliver you from all your uncleanliness.
We'll be saved from all the evil that we've done. Right? That's why it says in Hebrews 8 and 8, Jeremiah 31 about the new covenant, the Lord don't remember our iniquities anymore. Why? Because we've been delivered from them. That's what's happening here. When we get brought under the rod of the covenant, this is what happens. Right? So you continue.
Key point. This passage is internal cleansing, spiritual transformation, obedience enabled by God, not optional belief. Spiritual salvation here prepares Israel to dwell in the land. It does not replace national restoration.
Mm-hmm.
The nations that are saved, kind of.
Yeah, this hold up. This got to be said too, right? Because it's kind of. Because you know people are going to go here, right? You know, certain Christian Israelites are going to go here. See, it says the nations that are saved. Oh, so they get salvation.
We got them.
You got it. Shut the live down. You know.
So, like, I was also going to say, I don't know if you noticed, but Elder Yoel, he brought out that in the, I guess it's called the general text in the Greek, saved is not there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, if you go into the Bible Hub and you look this verse up and you go look up in that Koine Greek, saved is not there in the Greek.
Oh, well, that could be. I haven't looked at that. That could be, but I don't know if this really works if it's not there though, because this is making reference to. Well, just read it and I'll make that point.
I got it. It's Revelations chapter 21, verse 24 and verse 26 through 26. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor unto it, and they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations unto it. Mm-hmm. Isaiah 60, verse 10 to 12, and the sons of the stranger shall build up your walls, and their king shall minister unto you. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
So I would say if that's not in the Greek right there for like sozo, like salvation right there, I don't know if this really works though, because it's like in Revelation 21 right here, it's really recounting Isaiah 60, right? Because after Armageddon, World War III, Jehoshaphat, certain nations have to exist to bring us their glory. That's what's happening in Isaiah 60. It's literally recounting Isaiah 60. Some of these nations have to not die in this future. Well, like I said, Armageddon and Jehoshaphat. Some of them have to be alive so he can bring us their things, because you got it and I need it. Right?
And I was gonna say, it does make more sense to say saved there, because this is a condition. It's either you get down or you gonna get laid down. Straight like that. So the only thing, if you want to say there's a salvation that they get saved from something, they get saved from getting BTA, belt to ass.
Yeah. And like I was saying before, this is just recounting Isaiah 60, because it's like they're bringing the glory and honor to it. That's literally what it says word for word. Matter of fact, can y'all get Isaiah 60 real quick?
I got you.
Get Isaiah 60 and 10. We're gonna read all the way to 13.
This is the book.
Because this is why they have to exist still, or be preserved from not dying and all the evil is about to happen.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 16, verse 10. It says, and the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their king shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
So, okay, real fast. If some of them aren't preserved from dying in all of, I can say that, unalive. If they're not going to be unalived by World War III or Armageddon or Jehoshaphat, if they're all going to be unalive through that, how could that even happen? They build up our walls. So some of them have to be left from that so they can build up our walls. Continue.
It says, verse 11, it says, therefore, thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought.
Yeah, that force of the Gentiles in the Hebrew is wealth. The same thing is making reference to in Revelation 21. They're bringing their glory and honor into it. Their kings and their wealth. Continue.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
It says, the glory of Lebanon shall come upon thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, the beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious.
That's talking about the temple. So they have to bring their things, they have to surrender what they have, bring their glory and honor, surrender what they have to whether we can use those materials to build the temple. If they all die, how is that going to happen? Meaning, Revelation 21 right here, where it says the nations that are saved, kind of, I mean, you could say that's persevere. Y'all are not going to die. Y'all are not going to be unalived in Jehoshaphat or Armageddon, but y'all are only here to bring us your things.
They got preserved.
you got preserved. You got, that's what you got.
That's salvation.
It's salvation. Yeah. It's not because of what Paul said. It's not about what the apostle said. It's not about what you thought Christ said. It's because somebody has to exist to bring us their things, and I will accept all of it. Right? I will. It says your gates will be open continuously. We will accept all of it because I need it. Right? But go ahead.
Verse 14. It says, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down.
Oh, we go back to the presentation.
Oh, okay, go. Okay, where did Dawah leave off at?
Just do the key observation.
Key observation: the nations are called saved because they are preserved from destruction, allowed continuing existence, brought into the kingdom. It says brought into the kingdom order to serve and bring tribute.
Mm-hmm. You're preserved from destruction to give me your belongings. That's what's happening.
It says they are not described as ruling the kingdom, inheriting the promises, becoming covenant equals.
Mm-hmm.
It says, point being made, the salvation of the nations here is preservation for service. Gotta say that for service.
Right. For service,
not redemption unto rulership. Revelations 21 shows what happens, and Isaiah 60 explains why they are preserved. This keeps salvation consistent with its Old Testament usage, being spared, maintained, and ordered under Israel's kingdom.
Boom.
It says salvation to the ends of the earth premise. The era of global salvation. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go again.
Yeah. Isaiah 49:6. This is a Christian's favorite. It says, he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also gather thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
These Gentiles are not Israelites, and it doesn't make sense for them to be.
Yeah, and I gotta say it makes no sense for them to be Israelites because it says to restore the preserved of Israel. That's us being united. Everything that's happening right here in Isaiah 49:6, I claim is the era of global salvation. Because what happens here is restore the preserved of Israel, that's us being delivered, tabernacle of David being risen back up. We're under one king and one priesthood. We're already united. And it says a light to the Gentiles. When does that happen? Oh, when we're saved. We're already united, right? And it says light to the Gentiles. These Gentiles cannot be us if we already been glorified.
It makes no sense, bro.
It makes no sense. You're going to be confounded. You're going to be confounded.
It says, especially since Israel is restored and united prior to the light being given. Exactly. The light can't be given if Israel isn't restored and unified, right?
Yep.
This is attempting to claim these are Israelites only hurts your argumentation and leaves you vulnerable for confoundment.
It leaves you vulnerable for confoundment.
Yeah.
Somebody, and I've seen this because I'm not on Clubhouse because I know I'm going to curse somebody out. I don't have the patience.
I'm on Clubhouse. Y'all be getting cut on that when y'all be saying stop doing that.
And I've heard the rooms because people post the rooms. I'm glad they got the replay so I can actually participate because I know I'm going to curse somebody out and I don't have the I love y'all brothers. Y'all have patience to deal with it. I don't. But what I've heard on there is Israelites getting destroyed right here in Isaiah 49:6. You may not think you're confounded, but everybody saw what happened out there, and it was confoundment.
Anybody trying to say that, these Gentiles is Northern Kingdom, stop, bro.
Please.
Just stop it. Stop it.
Please.
It says restoration of the tribes of Jacob. Isaiah 61, national restoration and repair. Key points from the chapter. Israel's ruins are rebuilt. They shall build the old waste. They shall raise up the former desolation. Isaiah 61:4. It says, Israel is restored to covenant function. Ye shall be named the priest of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Isaiah 61:6. It says, the restoration is public and visible among the nations. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord have blessed. Isaiah 61:9.
That's the restoration of Israel. Go ahead.
Isaiah 62, Israel fully established. Key points from the chapter. Zion is no longer forsaken or desolate. Isaiah 62:4. Jerusalem becomes the center of praise in the earth, till her righteousness go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth, and the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory.
What's that? But hold on, what's that righteousness though? That righteousness is that brightness and that salvation. So they're gonna see it. Is that them witnessing it? I mean, is that them being a part of it? No, they're going to see it, right? And what I mean by that specific salvation is us being delivered and restored, right? But after they've served their time and after they come and learn of our ways, then it's you have a good time. It'd be a great time.
Turn up, bro.
Yeah.
This is Israel's restoration in complete. How you say that?
Was that permanent?
Permanent. It says, they shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of the Lord. Isaiah 62:12. Point being made, Isaiah 61 through Isaiah 62 describes the full restoration of Israel as a nation, which Isaiah 49:6 lists as the first objective.
Because they're sequential. Like first the restoration of Israel.
To the Jew first.
To the Jew first.
Light to the Gentiles. Isaiah 60. Nations ordered by Israel's light. Key points from the chapter. Isaiah becomes the source of light for the nations.
Israel.
Israel becomes the source of light for the nation. Arise, shine, for thy light is come. Gentiles come to Israel, not alongside or above her. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. It says, nations serve and submit to Zion's authority. The nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Gentile wealth and labor beautify Zion and the future temple. Isaiah 65:13 and verses 16. It says, point being made, the light to the Gentiles, meaning instruction, order, and submission to Israel's restored kingdom, not covenant equality. Isaiah 60 explains how Isaiah 49 functions globally.
Boom.
And that's to the point. That is the full mission of the Israelites. We need to get ourselves together so we can get exalted, so we can get everybody in the world under God and acting right. Salvation to the ends of the earth. Isaiah 56. Global access under kingdom order. Key points. Salvation extended beyond Israel's borders. Welfare, prosperity, health, and preservation. My house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. Isaiah 56 and 7. Foreigners are included through obedience and covenant submission, not replacement. Isaiah 56 and 6. God gathered others to Israel after the initial, not simultaneously with Israel. Isaiah 56 and 8. Micah 4, worldwide peace under one law. Key points. Nations flow to Zion to learn God's ways, for the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Global peace replaces welfare. Israel is restored first, then exalted. This is planetary salvation, not individual conversation language.
So conversion language. This right here shows you how salvation is going to be to the end of the world. So they can come serve our God, right? Well, they're going to have to. I mean, they have to come serve our God. You know, they don't have to deal with wars anymore. And when we're exalted, the rulership that we're going to have, a dominion we're going to have on the earth is going to be a beneficiary thing to them. That is their salvation. That's their welfare. Because what's going on is being ruled under the white man. You know, all we see is devastation, desolation, corruption, wickedness at the high. You know how it said in First Maccabees, where it talks about when Alexander was ruling and evils multiplied.
Evils multiplied in the earth. My favorite verse.
Yeah. Now evils, it may be multiplied in the earth then, but now evils right here is exponentially multiplying in the earth. It's like to the next, like what's to the nth power. All right, that's what we got going on right now. That's why we need to rule, because we have to take that away from there.
Come on, we got to get it back right.
Yeah.
It says salvation to the ends of the earth premise. Final framework locked in. Isaiah 49 and 6 is the summary statement. Isaiah 61 through 62 explains Israel restoration. Isaiah 60 explains the nations receiving light. Isaiah 56 and Micah 4 explain salvation reaching the whole earth. Together, they describe one everlasting era, a restored Israel, a reordered world, and salvation covering the entire planet.
Boom. That's us. That's us having rulership. You know, then y'all get healed, y'all get built. Matter of fact, the next slide is gonna say it. This is it. Next slide is gonna say it. Oh no! Wait. This one.
Yeah, we gotta get into this because
we gotta get this because I don't want people to think. I don't want people to think that we're teaching that they're gonna just escape from this. But we can just hit it because we already talked about it. We can just hit the key points, right?
Okay. So key points. The role of the nations is clearly defined. They build, they labor, they minister, they serve Israel. It says participation is not optional. Service is required for survival. Gotta state that. If you want to survive, you got to get the building and being part of the labor force. Yep. This is not equality of rule or covenant inheritance. This is preservation through service within the kingdom order.
Boom. Next one.
This is the work of the heathen. It says subjection.
Skip this one too. I'm gonna put this presentation. God said not the labor force. I'm gonna put this presentation out there. We already belabored this point. So they're gonna do work.
They're gonna do work, and you know, the good ones are gonna be for service. Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to just hit the key points here?
Yeah, just hit the key points.
It says key points after Israel's restoration, power is reversed. Former oppressors are subdued. The nations are brought under Israel's rule. It said this is not coexistence and shared rulership. This is kingdom order following judgment where Israel governs and the nation serves.
Easily. Now we can talk about, because you know we got people in the chat, you know, trying to be fanboys. So now we can talk about the restoration, the reform. We got to beat these heathen down and reform them in our image.
You know what I'm saying, we got to get them right first.
We got to get you right. Let's read this.
The reformation of the heathen: correction, instruction, and conditional preservation. Jeremiah 12, 14 through 15. It says, I will pluck them up from their land, and after I have plucked them up, I will again have compassion on them, and I will bring them again, each to his heritage.
The heathen get to go back to their land eventually. And we're going to see how that's going to take place.
Verse 16, it says, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people, then shall they be built up in the midst of my people. Verse 17, but if any nation will not listen, then I will utterly pluck it up and destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Key point, the nations are given conditional mercy, not unconditional salvation.
Yeah, you can't just say you're sorry and be saved. That's not. You gotta diligently, just like how y'all forced us to learn Baal, right? Just like how y'all forced us to serve sweet white Jesus, and who else? What the freaking rock? What's that? The Mecca rock.
The Mecca rock.
Goddamn. All these various other gods that y'all force us to serve. Just like how y'all force us to serve those guys, you need to serve our God that same way. And then after you serve your time, you can be built back up in your land and your heritage. Because your heritage is that's making reference to their allotment that's been given to them, their land, like their occupation. So not occupation, but their the land they occupy. Y'all get to be built back up in that again.
God, y'all not gonna be slaves forever.
Yeah, we slaves forever. We're not saying we're gonna just be beating up heathen all our lives. Stuff has to happen.
That's exhausting.
Eventually, you get tired of it anyway.
All right. It says correction, instruction, and conditional preservation. Jeremiah 12 verses 14 through 17. It says their restoration depends on learning Israel's ways, submitting to Israel's God, and abandoning former rebellion.
Look at this. Lord have mercy, the foolishness on this channel. It's crazy to be killing. One thing to be killing me about Christians, though, is like you're bringing out verses, most of which don't need a breakdown. Oh, you guys are just foolishness. You are saying people are going to be a slave. Well, God said it, man. What do you want me to do? You think I woke up one day and was like, let me find some slave theology? You think I just wanted to do that? You think I wanted to be subject under a law, bro? In the world, I was doing a lot of different things. I didn't wake up one day. You know what? I want to stop doing them things and preach slavery doctrine. Like that's not what we did. We read the Bible and it says this, and we're going to believe it because we believe in that God. Y'all just don't believe in that God, right?
Yeah, man. It's just funny to me how we can be on a video for an hour and a half, bringing out scriptures on scriptures and scriptures, hundreds of scriptures. Christians don't want to read any of that, and they only focus on 1 or 2 scriptures.
But
hey, Galatians 3:28.
3 and 28. To hell with all the scriptures y'all brought out. Galatians 3 and 28. Madness.
Wait, hold on, real quick, Dawala. I love when they do that because they don't really have no type of understanding of anything. If we go by that, just like verbatim, we're all equal. What does it matter if we Israel or not? Who cares? We believe in Christ, so we're equal to you. Then Romans chapter 2 talks about Jews and one inwardly. Y'all say y'all are Jews now, right? So what's wrong with us saying it?
Yeah,
y'all take Romans 2 to say anybody could be a Jew if they believe in Christ. If I believe in Christ, that makes me a what? A Jew, according to your theology. So why are you racist? Because God said so, man. And you know what, buddy, you can get the hell out of my chat. How about that? How about that, bro? I just don't understand. It's like we could just give them. It's like at this point, we could give these people the link, and they're gonna get on here. They're gonna embarrass themselves, and I would just feel like I'm beating up on a special needs child. I don't want to do that. Like I've done that for years. I'm tired of doing so.
All right. It says failure to submit results in destruction and non-coexistence. It says this confirms the heathen are reformed through instruction and discipline. Preservation is conditional. Israel remains the standard and center of the kingdom order.
Mm-hmm.
It says healing, order, and correction under the kingdom. Revelations 22 and 2. On either side of the river was the tree of life, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
So what are y'all gonna get? Y'all are gonna get healed. You mad at me for being racist? The God of the Bible is racist. And if anybody wants to take that debate, I'm already ready for it. But if anybody wants to take that debate, okay, please email me at themasadaSchool@gmail.com and set that up so you can get embarrassed. But I was gonna say this, right? Like Revelation 22 and 2, the tree of life is for the healing of the nations. Y'all nations are going to be healed. You're going to have to do your time. You know, you did the crime. Now you have to do the time. And after you do the time, you can get healed. I don't know, see what the problem is. Not we're going to rule it out forever. Oh, well, actually, yeah. But, you know, you won't be slaves forever. Right? You're going to get healed.
Come. Ezekiel 34, verses 25 through 27. And I will make them and the place around about my hill a blessing. And I will cause the shower to come down in his season. There shall be showers of blessing. See, It's hey man. Once you we conquer everybody, beat you down, then we gonna build you back up right. You start falling away, you get some blessings, bro. It's not all bad.
It's not all bad.
Key point. It says the nations are not annihilated after judgment. They are corrected, stabilized, and healed. This healing does not grant rulership or covenant inheritance. It produces order instead of chaos, productivity instead of destruction, peace under Israel's kingdom rule. Conclusion: the reformation of the heathen is part of the planetary restoration. Not equal of status, healing follows subjections, and peace follows judgment.
Boom.
It says, compelled to worship in obedience of the nations. This is Isaiah 2, verses 2 through 3. All nations shall flow unto it, for out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Verses 4 through 5. He shall judge among the nations. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation.
World peace.
World peace, man. Zechariah 14, 16 through 19. Everyone who survives of all the nations shall go up year after year to worship the king. And if any nation does not go up, there shall be no rain.
Yeah. So you ain't got no option. Your agricultural ventures will fail. If you don't want to, if you want to miss a year, like, you know what, I think I'm gonna chill at the house. I'm gonna chill at the house this year. I'm not about to go up to Jerusalem and celebrate Tabernacles. If you don't want to do it, there's gonna be no rain. You know what that is, though? That's a cursing in Deuteronomy chapter 28. That's a curse in Deuteronomy 28. It talks about our rain will be powder. That means there will be no rain. That's what they will get if y'all don't come and serve our God.
And then it just that shows that Zechariah 14 just shows the heathen not in the new covenant, bro. You don't get to choose when you want to follow and when you don't. If you're in the new covenant, the laws are put in your heart. You'll never go off. Mm-hmm. These heathen here, we see that there's going to be heathen that are going to choose not to follow. Can't be in the new covenant. Mm-hmm. Key point: the nations are required to come to Jerusalem, are judged and governed by Israel's God, are punished for non-compliance. There is no voluntary worship. This is enforced obedience under kingdom rule.
Yeah.
Covenant authority given to Israel. Genesis 22, 16 through 17. Mm-hmm. By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord. I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offsprings, and your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies.
Mm-hmm. And that's going into and I thought some people couldn't be enemies. I thought everybody's this is talking about they possess the gate of the nations.
Yes.
Matter of fact, get this. Go get this in your Bible, because I want to read one more verse after that.
Got you.
What you reading in the Nabs?
I can read either one.
You read the Nabs. I don't know what the Nab says.
Where you want me to start at?
Let me see.
Let me just start from 15 on down.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, this is Genesis 22 in the NSAB 20. verse 15. It says, then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, by myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son. Indeed, I will greatly bless you, and I will greatly multiply your seed as the stars of heaven and as the sand, which is upon the seashore. And your seed shall possess the gate of their enemies, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice.
So Christians want to always say, oh, well, it's in Abraham's seed, everybody's going to be blessed. But a part of that blessing is us having a foothold in y'all's kingdom. Y'all can have y'all's heritage. You can have your land X, Y, Z, right? Y'all can do whatever y'all want. Well, not really, whatever you want, but you can have some autonomy in your land. But we're ultimately going to have a rulership stake in that land. Y'all can do it. Y'all can have y'all's king, emperor, prefect, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, that king, emperor, prefect is going to be in submission to Israel.
I mean,
that's what the covenant blessing is.
It's literally how Israel was when Rome was in power. Like, Israel still had the power to govern how they want to govern their people. But when it came time to pay taxes or whenever an order got put out, they had to submit to that. Period, point blank. It says, key point, this promise established permanent authority, control of access and power, the gate, ongoing dominance over enemies. This is not temporary military success. This is covenantal, generational subjection rooted in Abraham's oath.
And that's the end of it. That's it. The conclusion, that's like how they say in Ecclesiastes, the conclusion of the whole matter. The conclusion of what we just said is, at the end of the day, a part of the Abrahamic covenant that y'all like to quote for some reason, like it's just all candy and sweets for y'all. A part of that is we're gonna have rulership over your nation, and you're gonna like, you have two options, no, you got really one option. You got it's like it. It's like it. That's the only option you got.
Oh my God! You ever get a whooping by your mom? She tell you fix your face. You gotta be happy after this ass whooping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fix your face. Get right. Get right.
I didn't have so many of those.
Conclusion. Salvation in scriptures is not a single event, a single moment, or a single category. It is the repeated action of the Most High intervening to preserve life, restore health, provide welfare, and rescue his servants from death and distress. The same God who saved Israel from her enemies also saved individuals from sickness, false accusation, famine, imprisonment, and despair. This personal salvation do not replace national deliverance, nor do they refine the covenant. Nor do they redefine the covenant. They reveal the character of the Savior as a present help, not only a future deliverer. It says, understanding salvation in the fuller sense guards against shallow definitions and forces us to read the text as it stands. Salvation is national, personal, physical, restorative, and preservative, all while remaining covenantal and purpose. It says to reduce salvation to only one expression is not Bible. It's not biblical.
Bible.
It's not Bible.
It's not. You're not wrong, but
it's not Bible. It's not biblical. It says scriptures itself testify that the God of Israel is the God of salvation in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and that's the conclusion of the whole matter, man. That's the whole conclusion of the whole matter, bro. Right. I'm trying to tell you, like, we have to realize when you get in debates with people who they say Israelites who believe salvation for all nations, when you say salvation isn't for the heathen, you really are gonna run into problems with just what the kingdom looks like. Like, not saying that they're not gonna go through punishment or judgment, but you're literally leaving yourself open to be cut somewhere, whether it be Isaiah 56, what else? Zechariah 2, anything in the New Testament. Yeah, there's so many contexts, like even like what's another one? Like Isaiah 2, just an easy one. Like, how there's gonna be world peace. That literally is a form of salvation. So to say they're not going to get it is you're literally lying. Like a more to the point thing to say would be to say, like, are they going to get saved from Babylon? Are they going to be saved from various other things, specifically Babylon in general? Because there's no verse that says they will be. Like, that's, if you want to argue that point, that's ironclad. But just saying verbatim, no, they're not going to be saved, you will get confounded. It will be funny.
You got to ask, do the heathens receive the deliverance of Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
And you don't see that nowhere in the text where Jesus Christ is going to come back and deliver the heathen from their enemies. The only thing you see God delivering the heathen from is from us destroying them because they don't want to get down. That's it. That's all you have.
That's it.
That's it.
Because you got Matthew 25, where he said those sheep that inherit the kingdom from the foundation of the world, meaning they're the elect. Then you have Matthew 24, talk about the Lord's going to deliver his elect. That's Christ doing that in that aspect. The elect are not non-Israelites. We can't go nowhere and show that unless you're going to go to Paul's epistles and just start freestyling or make a Paul freestyle. And that's a problem in itself. You have all the prophecies about who Christ would die for only point to Israel. Like, we're going to have to, like, that is the foundation. Like that, there's a reason why I'm fixated on understanding this from the prophet's sake, because that is the foundation. The testimony of Christ is the spirit of prophecy, right? We gotta, like, that's the foundation. If it don't say that here, I don't care what you're trying to say, or I don't even care what anybody says. Actually, biblical figure or not, if it's not what God said, if God did not say it, I'm not going to believe it. So you can say whatever you want.
Man. All praise though.
Con, I want to just add a little bit to, like, yeah, I'm dealing with a little baby here, but like what Yadi brought out, we're going to reform the world at the end of it all. Like, we are taking the world as a state as it is right now and bringing it to a state that's actually following after the footsteps of God. So that in itself is a form of salvation, because we are teaching the nations to not be pedophiles and sick freaks and people that break the laws of God, that murder, that steal. You know, all of the things you see that go on in this current world won't happen in the kingdom. That in itself, people should be waiting for Israel to wake up. But it's just sad, man, that all people is fixated on is whether or not the white man can rule now and rule later. Donald Trump can be Donald Trump now, repent, keep the commandments, and be Donald Trump again in the kingdom. That's madness.
That's right.
I said that in camp the other day. I said he got that now and later breakdown, man. You know, they get the rule now and later, bro. Boy, I tell you,
man.
Oh shit, that is crazy work, bro. That is crazy work. But yeah, man, you know, we do our closings, man. What y'all got?
Hey, man, I just need all brothers and sisters to tap in with us, because we are actually going to be out here trying to feed the sheep, because we can see that brothers and sisters is starving out here, right? So whenever you see the brother Yadi or me, myself, and the brother Dawala, you know, come on lives or give lessons, tap in with us, man. We're really trying to, you know, elevate and not get left behind. All right.
Not too much on my end. As y'all see, man, we got a new camp, Jeshurun the Upright. And we starting fresh, man. We gonna get back to doing classes and lives and just making sure that we continue to feed the sheep no matter what's going on in the community. Just know the brothers at the Masada and the brothers here in Space City, man, we will always be out there feeding the sheep. It don't matter what's going on. It don't matter what camp. It don't matter what camp leader, it don't matter what's going on in the community. Just know the brothers you see here, we will always be doing the work, boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Lord willing, man. You know, because even with me, because like if people have been on the channel, like I haven't posted in a few days, really like a week and some change, and anytime something like that's happening, I'm preparing a breakdown. Like I don't want people to just think that I'm just not doing anything. Like I'm preparing a breakdown. Like I get tunnel vision. Like this, I'm so happy that I finished this because the Lord wouldn't let me do anything except this. I can't if this didn't come out today, like bro, it's like the Lord puts me in a despair, and that's that's what's going on. Like if there's a breakdown the Lord wants me to come out with it, he forces me to do it, and this is one of those instances. So if there's ever a break in videos, this is what's happening. I'm working on something like this. But yeah, man, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to videos. Super chat on both channels. You know, if you love us, you know, cash app us if you love us, right? To help us forward the ministry. A lot of things we do require money, like business cards, travel, a lot of things. We're doing the work, and it ain't never gonna stop, Lord willing. All right, that's the type of spirit we got upon us, like my brother said. So with that, I'm gonna say, call halal Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai and Shalom.
Shalom.